Hi guys, welcome to Turning with me and we're turning at home. Today, a wee small project is, well, say small, it's something different. It's a clock. We're going to make a clock. It just so happens our competition for my clubs next month is a clock. So I thought I would do a clock today and get a wee feel for it. So I managed to get Brian. Brian's here. We'll just bring him in.
I
There he
is, I'm
is.
here. Yay. Good afternoon.
It's not been that long from me seeing you again.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, just last
so,
week.
so guys, I'll put Brian in the background and I'll give over to the lead and we'll get started. Okay. And if
Mm.
you've any questions, you can put them to Brian. Right. Well,
Yeah.
again, the whole head stack. Right. This is a piece of poplar tulip wood. Uh, it was for something else, and I managed to get it to use for this. It's the right size and stuff. Now, clocks can be made a whole lot of different ways, and there's a couple of different sizes of the workings for your clocks. That has, let me get my tape ruler. That's a 30 mil uh, uh, what would you call that? Post.
That's supposed to. Yep, supposed
As a post, and the wee small one's about 16 mil. That's the one we're going to use for this piece of timber. And this piece of timber is 36 mil by 200. So, uh, if you were going to make your clock out of a bigger bit of wood, this is would suit the bigger post one, and make your recess accordingly. So you don't want to make it too thin that you, when you put your workings in the back of it, you're going to push them through. So what we're doing first, right? This was chucked up for something else, and I changed my mind, and that's why we're using it. So these marks need nothing; they're just they were something for something else. Right. So we'll clean the face of this up. We'll start our front. This will be the
to.
front of the clock,
Got the tail stop.
and right. And we're going to be using this insert
There we go.
for it. Okay,
Nice.
so you can buy those in a couple of different sizes. Uh, that one was 360 for that one. I don't know what the bigger one is. And then you can go for a different style of clock, where it's a closed in, a glass front and stuff on it. Or you can buy uh, the wee skeleton clocks, if you haven't seen them. They're quite nice when you're making a wee clock. So that's just a wee insight to different things you can buy. And sometimes when you buy things like that, it sets your mind what size I need that and how they want to go about it. So hopefully I'll put this across very well or bad. Right, so I'm just going to get my spindle gouge. Just check my height here. All right, okay.
So whilst you're fixing the face of that, I'll tell you who's in so far. We've got
Okay.
18 people in, so that's a good start. I've got Raymond Wise is in. Todd from Glencoe Woodworks. Dodds 8, all the way from Australia, Chris Dodds. Vince Charlton, Wales Big Wood Turner. Mike Evans is in. Good afternoon, Mike. We've got Roger Kent in. We've got Raymond is in as well. Who else have we got? Let's see, Andrew from Wavy Woodsheds joined us. Doug Miller, all the way from America.
Walk along, Digger.
Doug. Greg Alexander is in. Now, I hope I haven't missed anybody out.
Just clean the face of this up with a bowl gouge.
Ah, the professor has joined us as well.
Welcome along. Just turn that up a wee bit because.
And Dr. Bob, all the way from Michigan.
Oh, welcome.
Detroit. Hi,
Right.
Dr. Bob. How are you all
So-
doing today, boys?
You will need to take measurements as you go along with this, and I have
Yeah,
a few measurements to mark out in this. So the first one you want to mark.
change
that.
cameras again. Change cameras again.
Yeah, I'm going to. Where am I? Yeah,
On the tail stop.
I'm
go.
just. We're just in a rough guide here. I'm marking another thing here in the background here.
Oh, Roy the boy's in as well. I missed out Roy the boy.
Right, so you want your piece to sit in that. So I'm just going to roughly put a mark on that, and we'll see if it lines up. Remember, only to touch one end with your marking tool.
Yeah, thing I do when I'm doing that is I always put the tool rest slightly higher, so I'm pointing down the way.
Right.
And I'm trailing the point rather than.
And another thing I've learned over the years, when I first started turning, I made about 20 of these clocks and give them all to family. And you need to leave a bit of room around this because the wood will move. I had fixed a couple of clocks. It compressed the aluminium piece in the middle, and it was bulging.
Yep.
So that's a wee thing to keep an eye on. So I'm just going to get my parting tool. And
Robert Brockwood's in. Afternoon, Robert.
welcome along, Robert. So now the other measurement you need is the width of your piece.
Width of the dial.
Yeah. And this one's been used that many times, a couple of wee marks on it. So it's best to keep a template or one you've actually made a few marks on to make your things with, and keep the new thing, because I recently scratched. I actually scratched that one.
Yep.
So
yeah, very easily scratched.
I think that is more or less there. I don't think I had much marking to do with that. I'll just check that. Right. It's close.
So what kind of gap are you leaving around the outside of that? About a mil or?
I'm leaving 3 mil.
3 mil, okay.
Because depending on the wood you use, it could expand a good bit with it sitting in the house, especially on a fireplace or mantle or somewhere. It'd be all right if it's well out of the way from a heat source. It mightn't move that much, but the ones I had to fix hadn't moved quite a bit, and the actual rings were compressed and bulging out. And the way I attach them normally would be silicone on the back of them, because the silicone will move.
Yep.
The silicone will move. So we'll want to take this out. It seems a bit high. So what we're doing is we're moving this bit of timber for our ring to sit in. And this is the way I go about doing it. You could do it any other way you see fit to do it, but you can make it sit in more if you want. So once you've got this bit sorted out, you can more or less work away with it. I didn't want to go too far with this ring here until I get the right size for it. Just using a skew chisel to clean that up, and we'll measure that again.
Yeah, if you were making a lot of these, you could make a scraping tool just the right size, couldn't you?
Yeah.
If you wanted
So
to.
that's almost there, as you see. So we'll take another mil or two off that. Well, you don't want it to be too flush with the front. You want it to sit in a wee bit.
And also have to take into account you're going to be sanding this as well, so.
So, yeah. So you don't want to be touching the face of this. Well, you wouldn't be anyway, because it wouldn't be in it until the end.
Yeah.
I put that in there and can't get it out now. Oh,
that's a good fit then.
That's a nice fit. As you've seen, there is a bit. It needs a wee bit more room round here on the inside. The outside could be maybe some a touch more. So I would say that's a crucial thing. If you're using those rings, they'll leave a wee bit of room for the wood to expand. Just removing a wee bit more from the outside of that. And your back should be nice and flat.
If you're going to use silicone to stick this in, you
Yeah,
have to
just
allow a
ordinary.
little bit of depth for silicone as well.
Yeah, don't put it on too heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I actually hit that, and I'm going to have to go a wee bit deeper with that.
It's a beating and parting tool you're using, huh?
Yeah, beating and parting tool. Just had to go a bit deeper here because
give let Pete in his backstage there, Paul.
Pete. Welcome along, Pete.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
And how are you today, Pete?
I'm good.
Excellent.
I had a chat with Ruby this morning. We're starting to get a plan together.
Oh, excellent.
Just muting my phone here because I heard it beeping there. I don't want it going off. Right, that's okay. We'll see what that says now. Right, so we've got nice movement then for the clock face to sit in there. So I wouldn't go any further than that. It's only about a couple of mil on each either side of the piece. So we'll just clean this up. It's not flat, so I'm going to use a flat scraper. Just to make sure that's nice and flat. And it is. And we'll just check that, and again, it's sitting nice. Okay. So we'll drill the hole through the center next, and we'll get that out of the way. And those wee posts on those cock workings are 8 mil. Now you just want to go right through, because you'll be taking to back off that anyway, to insert your clock workings into that. But just remove this from the tailstock so I don't hit my arm on it. Okay, and if you're not worried about it, bring your wee clock face up and make sure it goes in the hole, and it does. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so
Good.
So we're going to make a bit of a feature of this piece. You don't have to, you can leave it plain, but it's all marked, so we'll make a
I'll do
make it
something
look
with it.
nice.
We can't
Yeah.
leave it like that for sure.
Well,
Chris,
make it look
Chris from
nice.
Daily Woodworks has joined us. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Welcome.
Paul, do you
Right,
put
okay.
glasses on your clocks?
Glasses over the front?
Yeah,
No, no.
I started doing that. Do you mind if I paste a link into where I get mine from?
No, go ahead.
Glass on the clock. Oh.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm
the
just
price, but it's worth it.
putting a wee bevel on this, and just to make it look like something. And it's just not flat. Okay. The end, we could run, just run the end over. And if you wanted, you could do all sorts of beads and stuff, but I'm keeping it simple. Just making that nice and crisp there. Also there. And just cleaning that up a wee bit. Okay. I use my wee beading and parting tool for doing my beads. I find it a lot simpler and easy to do. So I want to come in about 1/4 inch from the outside. I'm just checking to have this the right way up. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to put one just here. And all you're doing is lifting the handle and getting a scraping motion to let that cut in. And it cuts in quite well, those wee things. You can get, I think there's an R size in that you can get for bigger beads. And then I'm just going to relieve the outside of this with the skew chisel. Taking it down to the depth of the bead. And we'll do the same with that one with the beading and parting tool. Just increase the speed a wee bit.
Wood turning by Barry has joined us as well. Good afternoon, Barry.
Good afternoon, Barry.
Dr. Bob's asking me to say hi to Ruby. I spoke to her this morning. She's in Marseille on Saturday, in Marseille Airport. She hasn't yet got a flight to Bristol, but we're working on that. And she doesn't have a flight back to Canada booked at all. So,
oh, she could be staying for a while.
well, we did say you can stay and feed the cat in June when we're away, but she sort of pulled back on that one a little bit. So I don't know how long she's going to be here for.
No.
Right, we'll just
That'd be good to have her back over.
check all our measurements. We're all okay. Right. Come out. So
that ring wants to be in there.
yeah, it
Roy's
wants to
asking
stay.
me how the clock glasses hold in. The ones I do, silicone. Little
Yeah.
dab of silicone is all it needs.
I've never actually seen them, Pete.
No,
Yeah, I'm
I
just
got
looking at
asked
that
to make
website.
one, and I did. I don't make a lot of clocks, but I got asked to make one with a glass on it, so I went looking. And it's Cousins UK Wholesale. They sell
Yeah.
them.
They do a lot of stuff.
They're not cheap. I mean, sort of an 8-inch clock is 17 pound.
An 8-inch clock.
Clock glass,
Oh, glass, aye.
and it's just domed glass that you basically cut your wood so it fits into it. And
Is it
so
toughened or something?
yeah,
Is
it's
it safety glass? Is it?
got a name on it. Mineral glass. So it's a hard stuff.
Right.
But they do all sizes, and
They do, aye.
I've never seen that. I must have a look at that later.
yeah, it just boosts it from a craft clock to a clock. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stop anybody messing with the hands too.
Yeah.
Because one thing you can't do, you can't wind these clocks with hands. If you do, they lost their timing.
Yep.
Yeah, it ruins them, doesn't it?
Yeah, it ruins them. So you're better going, taking it off the wall or where you ever have it, and usually we screw in the back to set the time to your
Mhm.
right.
That makes perfect sense.
So that should just be a piece of 80 grit here and just standing that up.
So if you put a glass on the clock you're making now, Paul, what you would do is you would make that outside bead a little bit deeper,
Yeah.
so that the clock glass fits into that. And because it's domed, it'll go up over the inner bead and the hands.
Just stop that to see if I got all that. Fair bit of tearite with that beading tool. That's the only downside to it.
Yeah, it depends on the timber you're using as well, of course.
Yeah, this is poplar. It's not very good for it.
No, it's too soft. But this piece is actually an offcut from a job Paul did earlier. He made a mirror, and that was the piece that was cut out the middle. So he's utilising the piece of wood. Excellent. Rather than they getting thrown in the bin. Oh, these people do mechanical movements and everything, Pete. I've just had a look on their website.
Yeah, it's all there.
Wow. And music box movements. Not much there.
Yeah, it's a good site. I mean, as I said, it's not cheap, but it's, if you're making a quality piece with a quality piece of wood, then it's worth it.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, I've got little music box movements in there, only small things, sorry. Only from 75p.
Oh yeah.
But they're,
Yeah.
I mean, normally about a £5 roughly. That's their prices.
Just moving up to 120.
That's an interesting website, Pete. I'm glad you put that in the chat. I'll have to have a look at that later.
Yeah, all the stuff's out there. You've got to find it. That's the thing.
This time, yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Bob says 3 years or so. I had an odd request from an undertaker that an urn, that I turn a custom urn for, or turn current custom urns for, he says. He wanted me to make a wall clock with some of the ashes glued under the face. That's a bit odd.
Morbid.
Right, Bob? Yeah, a bit odd.
Well, there's a definite difference. I mean, Lewis makes a lot of urns. It's a big thing in the States to
That is more so.
keep
Yeah.
keep your loved one's ashes on the mantelpiece or whatever in a big urn. It's not so common over here. We tend to scatter them to the wind somewhere.
Do.
Just checking to see if there are any more turret. Just a wee bit there. So this wee clock here, this wee clock would be a wall clock.
Mhm.
It would be a mantle clock because I'm not putting feet on it. And so that's the easy route to go. If you're making a mantle clock, and then you have to put something on the bottom of it to make it stand.
Show us what you mean on one of the other clocks that you showed.
Right. So there's one of the other ones I made with the wee feet
There you go.
and a recess to they're just normal turnings and then a wee bit cut out of them and it arched in to compensate for the roundness of
There you
the bowl. And
go. It's ideal little feet.
and that's the back of it. Okay, so there's quite a bit you can do with them. You know, it's not just turn a bit of wood and stick a face in it.
Yeah, flat
know?
round. Stick a face on it.
Yeah, you want to put it in a wee bit of decorative in it and try and make it look like something.
Got a phone call, minute, guys. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay, Pete. Arbor.
So put that back on again. Making sure to get the wee inside line here. Get sanded, because
You're always happy at your work.
Yep.
Always,
If you're
always singing.
not happy, I always think to myself,
Yep.
Don't know what it is like.
Catch myself doing it too. And I'm talking to myself.
Yeah. As long as you don't hear an answer back, you're all right, and you're talking to yourself.
The professor says turning urns is not a dying trade. You're quite right, it's not.
This is
Chris
piece of
Dodd says,
180.
Chris Dodd says, talk to Bob. I've heard of someone having their ashes put in an egg timer. God, that's a bit morbid, right enough.
Sitting looking at it every morning, you have your boiled egg.
Aye. I don't think so. I think I'm getting
No.
scattered in the field across the road. Incinerated and scattered. Yeah, Pete's right though. It's more of a North American thing than it is here for sure.
I'm back.
Good man.
Piece of 240. We're getting through the grits rightly here.
Mm. See, Paul's up to you're up to 400 subs now, Paul. That's good.
I seen that. Very good.
Keep getting this. Keep shouting out and we'll see if I can get you up to 1,000.
And thanks to everybody that's signed up to subs. There's a lot of new people there. And just came in.
It's good. More the merrier. Kevin 9K's in. He says, I'm a bit late. I've been practicing with the skew and stopped for dinner. You mean lunch, Kev? What do you like, Kev?
Good thing to do. Pressing with
Always
the
good to
skew is,
practice. Yep. It's an important part of learning. Practice.
$3.20.
some of the chat on the live last night was about making miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
And quite often, if I'm in the workshop, I don't do miniatures because my eyesight isn't brilliant. But I'll chuck a small piece of scrap on the lathe and just get the skew and just make something small. Just practice the skew, just get used to the feel of it.
Dr. Bob's been turning arms for the fallen heroes, veterans, since the Gulf War. So far, he's turned over 500 plus.
Wow.
And he does them for free. Well done, buddy.
Indeed.
Kev says he's been invited to show my skill at the AWGB, so practice the poor techniques to improve. Yeah, good man, Kev.
Right.
There was a strain
And last, 400.
I'm assuming it's your microphone.
A knock?
No, it's just I don't know what that noise. Can you hear that noise, Pete?
Yeah. I'm
I can hear anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Paul's background microphone running somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, well, I can hear it as well. Ah, thanks for that, Roy. I thought I was hearing things there from them.
Well, you probably are, but there's also that noise.
No need for that.
Is it loud?
Yeah, it's quite, yeah. I'll have to have a look at your system and check. You haven't got a camera microphone on at the same time.
You still here?
No, that's better. What did you do there?
Turn the dust extractor off.
Ah, that's what it is. Dr. Bob said he's a veteran and an ex-prisoner of war from Vietnam. I knew that, Bob. Thanks for your service, buddy.
Indeed.
Okay, that's that sanded. The 400. Just give it a wee wipe down with clean bits of cloth to clear the dust off. We'll get a wee taste of sand sealer on that.
Dr. Bob was poisoned by his own government with Agent Orange at one time, weren't you, Bob? Still receiving treatment.
Yeah, it's quite a common problem, isn't it?
Yep.
Before I put the
indiscriminate use.
sand sealer on, I'll just finish the top of this. It's
Right,
laying
okay.
at an angle. It's laying at an angle. So
Oh, we don't want that.
take a wee bit off it. Just using the bow gouge to clean that up.
Right, the boy said his son showed me how to set my Jabra for videos. I just plugged my in, Roy. I didn't have to set anything, you just did it.
Yeah, same.
I must have a look at that. Can you change the settings in it?
Yeah, there is some tweaking you can do.
Yes.
We're restricted on the way we do lives because we don't use our software through StreamYard. We use theirs.
That's true, yeah.
But for videos, yeah, you can do quite a lot.
Susie's in. Good afternoon, Susie.
Good
Swiss
afternoon.
Wood.
Welcome along, Susie.
And how's the weather in Switzerland today, Susie?
Probably 22 degrees, dropping to freezing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Getting colder here today, I'll tell you.
Yeah, our heating actually came on this morning.
Well, mine's just not on yet, but it might be this afternoon. And there's snow in the mountains last night. Todd from Glen Cove says, question, is it my imagination or has Gerald been absent from live chats for a bit? He has indeed. He's been missing for a few days now. Last time I seen him was in a 360 meeting, I think. Don't know what's going on with Gerard.
I know he's working part-time, so he could just be busy.
Yeah, could be. It's currently 16 degrees, blue sky, sunshine, but every so often dark clouds flying past. Ooh, it's windy. Yeah, we had a slight shower of rain today as well. April showers is on the go at the moment.
We better hurry up. There's not much time left.
It's true. April's rapidly running out, isn't it?
Yep. Okay, that's the sand all done to the outside and front. So
Good.
I'll get a wee taste of sand sealer on it. Wee taste of finish.
Change cameras back again. Cool. Joy the Boy says, when I was doing a video using my Jabra, no sound came out on the replay on my computer.
Your OBS settings then.
Yeah. If you were doing a video in OBS, or maybe it's the, I'm not sure how you're creating your videos. Is your Jabra linked to your Filmora? Because if I plug in my condenser mic, it takes over in Filmora. So you need to make sure your Jabra is set up as the microphone for your editing software.
And it has to be set up on your computer as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the sound on your mic must be picked.
Yep.
Susie's asking, what is the wood and what is Paul making?
I am making a clock, Susie, and the wood is poplar, American tulip wood.
I have a tulip tree in my front garden.
Yeah, cut it down.
Well, it's not big enough to cut down yet. It's only about 30 feet tall and about 12 inches at the base. so it needs to grow a few years yet.
Yeah.
It's only a baby.
But
only a
yeah,
baby
it's only 20 years old. It was, my sister-in-law Carol gave it to us when we first moved into this house. So I planted it in the front garden. What a mistake that was! I didn't know they grew to 60 meters.
Oh dear.
Well, yeah, they grow till they fit the lathe properly, and then you cut them down.
That's what I was thinking. Once it gets to about 18 inches round the bottom, it's coming down.
It's strange how I turned tulip wood last night. Tulip wood must be quite popular at the moment.
I haven't got a piece to turn tonight, but I'll be turning something. The reason
to
there's
get
no
a
light,
nice.
the reason
you
there's
gotta
no
get
light
a-
is I haven't decided.
You either get a nice piece or you get a plain looking piece that.
It's good for colouring though, with the plain bits.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to say that. The only option is to colour it.
Well, it cuts quite nicely. I mean, I've cut it in spindle mode many times, but last night was the first time I cut a bowl out of it.
Yeah, it does turn nice. It's easy enough to turn.
Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Right. It's soaking up a sand sealer anyway. Dry.
Must be good and dry then.
Right, I'll give that a wee taste of Yorkshire grit and finish that off, and then wee taste of wax. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Oh, Brent Breakoff's in. Evening, Brent. Or afternoon, Brent. Evening.
Welcome, Brent. Good to see you. And
He's saying hello to everybody individually. Susie says, does it work with tulip flowers too? Nah, go away, Susie.
so we'll just turn this speed down a wee bit and get this worked into the.
Yeah, I don't know where the common name tulip wood came from. It's
I have no idea.
I think it's an Americanism, but might not be.
There you go. Tulip and poplar is easy to carve and the bark makes excellent fire tinder. According to our Kev.
It used to be quite cheap, it isn't anymore.
Show me timber that is, and you're
Well, that's true.
Yeah. and you're
Well,
a
the-
fit one.
The piece that came out of the blank was £10.80 for the blank I got. This is the centerpiece out of it. So it's
The
quite.
plank I bought the other day was well, it started off at £58. I managed to knock them down a bit.
Ooh.
But £58
But
for a plank, it's rather silly.
Yeah. I'm just looking at my taper to see what size that blank is I got.
I was looking at a sheet of birch ply to buy
Oh,
that.
that's crazy now.
Oh, you can buy
You're
that.
not kidding. A sheet of 8 before sheet of 12 mil. It's £104.
Yeah, it's
Don't,
mad.
and you wouldn't want to think about buying 3/4. It's away about 170 quid. It's crazy.
We got all the cuttings from a sign maker shop that one of the fellows went down to. You know, the CNC machines cut out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The stick. What do you see? The blanks. You got blanks like that there. Well, change cameras. That's all going to waste. That's birch ply.
Jeez.
And that's coming out of and we pieces like that. So we're going to do a glue up. You know, it's good for that. There's nothing
Yep.
wrong with it.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
We took a big lorry load of it and one of the members of the club, he sat down at his place and go down, and it's still on one sheet. You know, it's still, all the stuff he wanted to cut out of it, it's cut out and left all the waste on the outside. So,
All right. Okay.
so you have to cut the bits out and tie them up a bit, but there's some good sized bits, especially for birch ply, you know, because that's a sign maker is using that stuff. You know, he uses CNC machine to cut the shapes out.
Yeah.
Robert Brockley says they've just cut down a small apple tree in the back garden. Trunk is about 5 inches at its largest point and about 5 feet long. You'll make some interesting stuff out of that. Robert, enjoy that.
Yeah.
Get the ends here and let it dry.
A bit too fast there. Run away on me. Just removing any excess Yorkshire grit from the wee grooves and all the wee bits. The only thing about turning birch ply, it's hard on the tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're turning a lot of glue, aren't you?
Yeah. I turned one bowl out of it using birch ply, and that was enough for me. Too much hard work. But you can turn
Yeah,
all.
I always wear a mask with turning ply anyway because it's you don't know what it is, do you?
Yeah. An RB piece I had to go at out of the birch ply was that wee fellow. All made of
All right.
ply.
Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah. It was only it needs a bit refining because I didn't have any sizes for it. It was a demonstration at the weed shed one night.
All right.
And there was no plans or sizes. You just took a picture of it and went off and done your own thing. You know. I think it's all off now. There's no more transfer onto the cloth. We can give that a wee coat of wax. We'll try and stay away from the inside bit.
Kev was saying to Robert that applewood is gorgeous. It is indeed, but it's a fruit wood, so you've got to be careful it will split.
Almost guaranteed.
Just a wee taste of microcrystalline wax.
Yeah, Robert says that's what I was thinking, Brian. Won't it take long to dry when I cut it into smaller bits later? You can cut it in smaller bits now if you want, and then seal the ends. But I would leave it if you want a 6-inch bit, you better be leaving another third to allow for end cracking.
Yeah, cracking cracks like mad, so it does.
Because it will crack on the ends, guaranteed. No matter what you do, it'll crack on the ends. The best you can do is slow it down enough so it doesn't crack all the way through. So that's why I'm suggesting don't cut it too short. Rob from Klingspor Abrasives has joined us. Good afternoon, Rob.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Rob. I'm making a clock, Rob, I think.
Oh, you are? Well, no thinking about it. It's coming along well, too.
Right, I think that's the outside of that done. You've got it turned round and mount it and do the back. Okay, we'll take that off. I change chucks. Put the cool jaws on. The other thing when you're making clocks too, you have to think about how you're going to turn it round and do the back of it. If you haven't got cool jaws, there's a couple of options. You can go down, you can make a jam chuck and so on, or but it works well.
If you've got some
on
big
that.
jaws, you can turn the back of it first, and then use the
Yeah, the cutout
mortise
for
as your
yeah,
inlet space.
you can
Mhm.
do that. Yeah,
It
right. Let's see.
does
Just
require
leave
having
that
the
off
right
here.
jaws. If you measure the clock workings, and you've got a pair of jaws slightly bigger than
Yeah.
that, then you're good to go.
So there's the clock at workings. So you have to measure from corner to corner to get the size you need, because it won't fit in if you just measure end to end.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
quite big.
it's,
Across
it's
the
wider.
diagonal, you have to go.
Yeah. So just put this in the cool jaws. That should hold it, because we only have to take a wee bit out of that, and then
Ian
so
Leach
we'll
has
clean
joined us. Good afternoon, Ian.
Hi Ian. I will just clean the face of that up. I'm just going to use the bull gouge here just to clean that.
I will be on tonight, guys, and there's the link. If anybody wants to come along and have a laugh. I've no idea what I'm turning yet, but we'll be turning something. Once Paul's finished, I'm going out to my shed to have an investigate. Oh, Ian says he'll be there. Thanks, Ian.
And I'm just dishing this in at the back a wee bit, so when you put it on the wall, it's going to sit flat against it.
How are you going to manage to hang it? What are you going to do for a hanger?
I'm going to use the hanger. It's in on the
Oh,
clock.
the little hanger that's on the clock.
So
Okay.
I'm not going to go right in and bury it right in. I have done that in past, and the only other option is to drill a hole somewhere above the 12 o'clock to make sure it's straight and
Right.
hang it from that. You know, that's the only option.
Well, I quite often do it with I cut a groove around about half inch from the outside and slightly dovetail it. So you can hang it from the groove.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, Pete, I think. Just
Also
give
got
yourself a
some
dovetail
little
through.
metal plates that you can cut in, and they're like a keyhole.
Yeah, I've seen
They
those.
work well as well.
So Dave from Mole Valley Maker has joined us. He's in just afternoon of just having lunch, he says. Good man. Thanks for joining in.
The advantage of the groove over that metal plate is you line that with 12 o'clock exactly.
Kev says, question. This may be obvious to you all, but why did Paul not do the recess in the back first?
No reason. I could have done it that way, but I already planned to use the cold jaws. I knew I had these and I could do it this way. But yes, you can do the back first and then turn it around and use that hole to put your chuck in.
Good.
There's no reason. There's no reason why I done that. It's just
different what to use the cold jaws.
Yep. Because I already planned.
There's always more than one way to skin a rabbit. Don't you be talking about that cat, Pete. Oh, I'll set the cat on you.
I'm just using the parting tool here to release some of this timber.
And Turner Green Crafts has joined us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That's a name I haven't got in my book, I don't think, but I'll just check.
And depending how you've done
yeah,
the front of
turn,
this,
yeah, marked.
this will, the back of it's quite important. You don't go too far and end up coming through it the same way you do with a bow, because if you've recessed that on the front and set it in, you might find that you're approaching it very thinly.
Turn the Gamecraft is marked, by the way, guys.
We'll stop that and try that. We clock workings in.
Raymond
So,
Weiss says,
I need it-
question, what speed are you turning at currently? He says it looks a bit fast.
1200.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll say it's 800 because that's the maximum for those cordials.
Yeah, yeah.
it's,
So,
it's 800 now.
That's 800. So it needs a wee bit out of it yet. It's still tight. So if you put it in and it was tight like that, it's a good chance you would crush it.
Yep.
Right. I'll turn the speed down here.
idea.
There, 800. Oh dear. I'm just using my feeding and parting tool here.
Chris Dodd says 800 and a wee bit. Yeah, well done, Chris.
I'll try our wee clock face in and see what it's like. So now you could put it in a bit further than that if you wished, but the ones I've made, so I've dished in a wee bit, so the highest point is here. I don't know, I'll change camera, and
Yep,
you
we
can
can
see
see
that there's room behind that. So
Yeah.
the only thing you want to be sure of, they could probably do with another couple of mil out of the width of that, just to allow for the wood to move, because it will crush it if it moves and break.
That is another point. If you're going to use the clock glasses, as I linked to earlier, then you've got to be aware of the spindle on the motor. You don't want your second hand pressing against the glass.
No.
Yeah. So you would normally wouldn't think about those things
No.
until something happens. And I didn't quite go on to, I got one of my clocks back from one of my family, and it was pushing the clock face out, actually.
So Dr. Bob's asked a question, I missed it, but Doug pointed it out. He says, as a point of information, please, for us across the pond, can we have a little background information on our host?
That would be me.
That would be you, yeah.
Well, you know me, my name's Paul. And
My name is Paul.
I started returning 8 years ago. I was a plaster per trade, worked in the building trade all my life. I injured my back and I needed something to fill my day with, and I came across wood turning, and I just took to it like a duck to water and haven't looked back. And
Good.
every day I learn something new. I don't progress to know it all, but I do try to get it right and do the best I can at it. And I love it. It's my hobby, so it's I enjoy it.
Good.
Anything else you need to know? My address, bank number,
He's from Northern Ireland, by the way.
and from Northern Ireland.
Yep.
If you can't really tell by the accent. Right, we'll get this sanded up.
You know, as I get older, every day I learn something new, but sometimes it's what I learned yesterday.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
true, Pete. This is true. Sorry for you guys been doing this for a while. It kind of sticks.
Years
Yeah.
fly by. I didn't reckon, and we're talking about on a meeting last Tuesday night in the woodshed, and we're talking about our lathe.
Mhm.
We had Joe Laird the Saturday before, and the lathe broke while he was using it.
Oh no.
So we're talking about the lathe, how old it was. We have a Vic Mark in the woodshed we use, and it's 12 years old. So it ended up the burns it went, but according to Simon Hope, does the Vic Mark?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He said he never heard of bearings going in the Vic Mark, but when you took them out and run them around your finger, you hear the grinding inside
Alright.
because they're a sealed bearing
Yeah, there will be.
inside them, you know. So just to be safe, we're replacing both of them, and hopefully we'll get it fixed tonight or tomorrow night.
There's absolutely no point in replacing one bearing if there's two holding it in,
Yep.
because you're guaranteed to be the same age.
Yep.
See, he thought
Get
at
them both
first
changed.
it could be the pulley going around
Yeah.
the shaft because one of the grub screws might have came loose. But we
Mhm.
checked all that, and it didn't make any difference to the noise, you know. So the only thing it could be was the bearings, you know. Now, for 12 years, I think it's done a fair bit of turning like in the woodshed. All sorts have used it, and it's been set in fire and stuff.
Chris Dawes just says, Paul, you sound like an Irish version of me. That could be a good thing. I'm not so sure about that,
Could be
Chris
a bad thing as well.
I'm not so sure about that, Dodgy.
Now,
As
Rob,
well, Amy's not here. She'd have something to say about that.
Rob from Klingspor's commented, it's interesting how many have got into wood turning by accident.
Oh yeah.
I think in my life story, I did some wood turning as a youngster. Always wanted to do more of it, and I got a job where I just didn't have any time. So it required me leaving that job to have time to get back to wood turning. And I think a lot of people, for one reason or another, have to stop working normally. They're not ready to actually give up on everything, so they need something. And wood turning is a
Yeah,
good
you need something to keep you occupied.
Yeah.
There's no point in sitting on your backside vegetating.
Nope. That's kind of why I'm in it now too, because I'm retired now, so I just pick it up. When lockdown started, I took up wood turning. And it's a nasty little bug. It just gets in there and makes you do more all the time.
And Dr. Bob said it helps with pent up anger from being a POW. Yeah, I think physically and emotionally, wood turning is good for you.
It is.
It's a great stress reliever as well.
Well, because it's a little bit dangerous, and you have to think about what you're doing. and you're concentrating on the product, your mind doesn't wander to darker places.
Yeah. Take your mind off the troubles of life and
Mm-hmm.
what's going on in your life, you know.
Does indeed. It's a great hobby.
We had lathes in school when I was there, but we never were allowed to use them. I don't think anybody ever used them.
Yeah, I remember
And I
using the
thi-
lathe at school, but that was nowadays they don't get to use them at all. In fact, most schools don't have a lathe anymore.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
why
it's
there's so
the-
many union graduates out there amongst turners, because they bought more from the schools cheap.
Yeah,
And the schools are terrified of being sued.
that's right. See if something happens. I'm saying that we never got the opportunity to do any woodworking in our class. I was in one of those classes that all the bad people were in.
And Royce the Boy made a comment that he wanted some 50p round wooden blocks for his grandson. Watched Brian on YouTube, and then Brian's blamed for all the money he spent on wood turning since.
Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah.
Paraphrasing a little bit, but it's all Brian's fault.
Just
Yeah.
rounding this end over a wee bit with the sandpaper. You don't want it too sharp there.
Chris Dodd says, wood turning keeps me out of the wife's way. That's her opinion. And David
And you
Mole
just-
Valley says, most creative activities are good for mental health issues. The men's shed is a great example of this. I'm
Yeah.
always encouraging my clients to try some sort of creative activity. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're going to
Can't go
sit, if you're
wrong.
going to sit on your sofa and watch TV and be depressed, you need to do something. Hard as it
Just
may
wanna
be, you need to push yourself to get out there and do something.
I just want to check my depth of enough on it for the clock gate. No, I haven't. I need to take a wee bit more timber away.
Rob says, I tried to donate a ton of abrasives to a local school. I got told that we don't sand because the dust might hurt children. That's 100% right, Rob. And in the technology and design classes they have now, and certainly in the first, second, and third years, the children don't even get to cut the pieces up. They have a technician who cuts the pieces
That's right.
enough and makes a kit for the class to use.
Yeah. Bit of assembly work.
So they're just assembling stuff. They're not really designing anything.
He used to make furniture with a couple of friends. It took a long time to finish the project. Wood turning is nice to make small projects quickly. That's another good point, actually. And we all complain about the size of our workshops being too small.
That's true.
If you want to make some furniture and you want to clamp things together and have saw tables and everything else, you need a lot of space. Wood turning is a relatively compact version of woodworking.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it can be if you have a smallish lathe. When you
But
start
even if
to
you have a
get
fairly big lathe like mine, you can get away with it. I mean, the floor space in my workshop, I cannot glue a table together. It's just no way.
well, that's true. You can. Probably just now we just sit on the sofa and watch wood turn on YouTube.
Just wasn't quite at the depth I needed there. So we had to cut a wee bit more of that away when I wanted. See, if I had to take it into it, I wouldn't have to take it from the back.
It'll be grand.
You know. Yeah, that's enough room to get the wee nut on and the wee washer. So I'll finish that. Now,
Rob says that's a bit like the cooking they do nowadays. granddaughter had to make a pizza. Ingredients: pizza base pre-made, tin of tomatoes, and cheese pre-grind. Yeah, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
that's not teaching people how to cook. That's just assemble. God, I don't know. What's the world coming to?
Health and safety has gone mad. Just
Certainly has in schools, and it's all because they're afraid of being sued.
Yeah, breaking children can get quite expensive, though, can't it?
They can.
and there's always one idiot in the class that's just going to do something that's not meant to be done. You know.
Yeah, but when I was at school doing metalwork class, it was usually the teacher that did the dangerous stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sure, I remember in metalwork class at school making a poker. We've forged a poker.
Yeah, did that.
You know, and I didn't do myself any harm.
So
I
we
think I made it.
had a class project led by the teacher where we made a crossbow.
Oh,
Fired
this
it from one
sounds
end of the
like
classroom to a target at the other. It went through the target and through the brick wall
fun. Oops.
and out across the playground.
Oops.
And that was the teacher's design, nothing to do with the kids.
Oh, I just made it a little bit too strong. That was all right, though. I can't see anything wrong with that.
No. The only thing I ever made in metalwork was a tin opener, a bottle opener.
Made a copper ice tray as well.
We did forge work, we did welding, we did turning, did everything in metalwork.
Mm-hmm.
We've never done that.
Dave's back in the workshop. Bye, Dave. He's away back to work.
Right.
Dad's reckoning that schools now only have a 50-minute lesson instead of 2 hours they used to have. Well, some in the school I worked in, they were still doing sort of afternoon technology lessons, which is so they were getting long enough. But there were some short lessons. Certainly in first and second year, there was lots of short lessons.
Yeah. Just a wee takes the Yorkshire grip to finish this off.
The professor said that teaching responsibility in a workshop is part of the lesson and not just the practical skills. Absolutely correct. That's why people like the RPT system and the AWGB, they have an emphasis on safety first, and then they go into the actual practical bit of the teaching. So they're teaching health and safety all the time. But it should never be taught to a state where the health and safety stops you from doing something that is doable. It should just stop you from being stupid, really.
See, one of my bugbears is when I was a child, Boy Scouts had a 6-inch sheath knife as part of the uniform.
That's right.
Ooh.
And the first thing you learn was that this is a tool, and this is what a tool is used for. And at the same time, you learn that you don't go sticking it into other people because it hurts.
Right.
And they don't even carry a pocket knife anymore.
Nope. They're lucky you get to wear a scarf around their neck these days.
Well, yeah. I think, yeah, there might have been a few accidents here and there. And an unruly class of 30-odd kids, I wouldn't really want to be teaching them metalwork or sharp objects in it.
That's one of the
you know, these days when they've got little discipline to start with. There's an issue. Discipline is an issue.
Discipline was a very bad issue in my class. Nobody got doing any practical work at all. Get the books out, start writing page to page. That's all we got to do because of certain people in the class didn't want to
You know, wouldn't play
play
the
by
game.
the rules. Yeah,
Everybody else had to suffer. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a big problem. But now we're bending over backwards for these kids who can't behave themselves, and everything has to do to suit them.
yeah.
When really, it should be the other way around. They should be made to conform, or not made, but and if they can't conform, they need to be somewhere else.
Yeah, this is it. You try to do your best, but there's elements in the background that don't allow you to do it, and you can't do nothing about it, unfortunately.
Dr. Bob says the robotics lab has a 2-year waiting list. My God.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Rob just says, I asked my grandson, do you do technical drawing? The answer was, what's that? What is that?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
is
indeed.
it?
I used to love technical drawing at school.
I did as well.
Myself and the teacher had a love-hate relationship.
Oh, yeah. I lost my wee nut and my
No, you
washer
didn't.
and
Careful
my
now.
No, I
hands
know
are.
that
I
Nobody's
found
done
them.
Paul,
Mm-hmm.
what is that in your chuck?
You didn't see that. Oh,
Every week, at least once, every
it was
week.
just, and once was last week. And there we go again. I was doing well there.
You were, eh?
just what the chat is all about health and safety as well.
Yeah. You distracted me. That's what's
Oh,
wrong.
it's my fault now, son. Okay.
Oh
dear.
dear. Right. You just want to nip this wee nut up.
It's okay. Only a couple of people in the chat noticed it, Paul. It's all right. It's a thing now, Paul.
Yeah.
It's officially a thing.
Right. What way you have the back facing? So with the grain's going across the way. So we'll turn that to the opposition so it's going that way.
I love that. Rob's just put in the chat there. He says, the first day of my apprenticeship, we spent the whole day learning how to draw dimension arrows correctly. Perfect.
Yep.
Oh.
Chris Dodd says, only 32 out of 34 noticed. Oh dear.
Oh well. You can't be right all the time.
Todd
just
said,
gonna-
my cousin's son will be doing his third summer interning at a medical engineering firm, and he is just a junior in high school.
Yeah.
He's also helping scholar solar care team, or the school's solar care team. Very good, Todd. There are some good kids out there. In fact, there are a lot more good kids than there are bad, I have to say.
There always is. We used to hear about the bad ones in the news.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I was in
Yeah.
a school of 1,100 kids, and there would have been half a dozen maximum that were bad. And that was a grammar school, so it was slightly different to your ordinary school.
Just looking for it.
And Kevin 9
We-
Creation says, well done, Paul. You were just showing us what not to do.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
to see if anybody would notice. Thank you, Brian. You noticed.
It wasn't just me.
Along
I'm
with
just-
36 of the 35 people watching.
That was just a wee teaser to see if
It was,
you're
aye.
up the.
Well, he's all paying attention, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to do that from now on.
No, you're not.
Right, let me get my. I'm just mounting the wee bits and pieces into it and put the battery in, and so there's our wee clock.
Oh, we'll have to give Paul. We'll have to give Paul a fighting name.
Okay, just a wee simple wall clock, and
Lovely.
made of poplar.
God,
it'll
you know
hang
what would be
on.
nice? You know what would be nice now, Paul?
What?
Jamaican flakes in between the two beads.
Here? Yeah, I was looking at that. So I showed Brian these earlier. Here's the other or two others that I've done over the years.
Yeah.
You know, and added bits to the feet to make them sit on the mantle. So, you know, you get a nice piece of wood like that there. I don't know what that wood is. It's spelted anyway. I think it's beech. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Those two are turned about 6 years ago, and this one sits in my living room on the mantle, and this one belonged to my son. I made it for. It came back with the dial squashed, so
Alright.
I had to take it back out, remount it, and take a wee bit out of it to allow the extra room for that to expand.
What wood is that made for, Paul?
I think it's spelt the beech. I'm not
Mm.
sure. It's very contrasting wood here
It is totally, yeah.
to that,
It's,
you know.
hardwood and softwood there, by the looks of it.
Yeah, yeah. But it looks nice. It's a nice
Does, aye.
figure
Nice
and
clock,
the
yeah.
two, you know. But those things you need to look out for if you're using those inserts. Even with the R ones that have the the plastic front on them, you need to they're mounted on a wee rubber band on them, and it's all about.
Roy's got a question. He obviously wasn't paying attention earlier. He says, Paul, how did you make the feet for the other two clocks?
Well, they're just a piece of round dial and rough down the circle to match the size of the piece you're doing. And put a wee decorative piece on the front. And in this one, I cut it back here. The shape of the clock face.
Did you cut that in a bandsaw?
No, I've done that by hand.
Okay.
And used the sanding, the sanding disc.
Okay, yeah.
The round one, and just buffed it, because you don't need an awful lot of wood removed to get that curve, and just done that to bring it on to the clock face itself. And same with that one,
you could probably, extra. Yeah. You could probably sand it out on the round end of your belt sander.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, exactly.
That would be an ideal way to
Yeah.
It's just an extra bit you can do to make it sit nice, and if it's going to be a mantle clock, But there's that many. There's bigger faces you can get. There's loads of different hands and stuff you can get. The other one, I was showing Brian this earlier. He made one of these two wee clocks. This is a wee skeleton clock, and they're a nice wee clock when they're set into something, So I'm making a clock for the competition in my club next month. So that's what that's for. So that's why I come on the theme of do a clock today. And I know it's not a big fancy project, or there's not a lot involved in it, but it's still a wee basic turning and getting your measurements and the procedure to follow and doing it. Yes, you can start on the back and hollow that out first, and then turn around and do that. There's no way, it's no rhyme or reason or why I done that. You can do it either way. It's whatever you want to do yourself.
It depends on the tools you have. If you have the right equipment, you can do whatever you like.
Yep. And if you're planning ahead, I knew the cold jaws there, that would fit into it, and I could do it that way. So that's the option I took. So there you are, guys. Any other questions before I go?
Thank you, Paul. I'm feeling inspired. I've got a skeleton clock on my mantelpiece, which has been there without any wood on it for probably 4 years now.
Somebody robbed it?
No, he's just a lazy sod.
I took it in, I put it on the mantelpiece to see what it looked like, realised that the
Uh.
hands were too small for me to see across the room, and left it there. I haven't touched it since. But
Uh,
I'm inspired. I'll go and grab it and do something with it this afternoon.
Yay!
you know, so there's the one I'm previously made, and there's the RV one. So, and
Excellent.
as I
Good
say,
job, Paul.
They are. They are. They look nice too. And it's a nice wee project to do
And
like that.
The professor says a great project for us beginners. It is indeed a good project. Yep.
Yep. Buy the bits
You
and
can-
pieces, and you get the measurements and the sizes you need to work it out. And it's all about having a go and seeing what you could do.
You can make it as fancy or as plain as you want.
Yep.
And Rob from Klingspor says if you have a laser, you could do all sorts of fancy things on the face.
Yeah.
Good.
And
Yes.
you can indeed, yep, absolutely. All great
You can
ideas.
make a bigger round piece. You know, you can make your clock's face bigger.
You're on next Monday again, Paul?
It's next Monday, the 1st of May.
Well,
Yeah.
might be.
If it is, no, I won't. I'm
Oh,
up in
okay.
Shane's Castle on Sunday and Monday at the tractor fair. Ulster Wood Turning is to have a stall up there next
Okay.
Monday, guys. I'm sorry, I haven't.
Well, it'll be the
doing
following
that.
Monday then, will it?
It'll be the following Monday.
Right.
So
So
next Monday, no.
Monday the 8th of May.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, guys. All the
And
best. And
I'm on
keep-
tonight. There's my link for tonight.
and stay cheerio. Stay cheerio, guys.
Hi, guys.
Cheers,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks for coming in. Talk to you all there.
Okay.